What's poppin', fam? This Big Q representing Ring Kings Boxing. This one's entitled Teofimo Retires. Teofimo Lopez retired. He made mention of it after the fight. He got on ESPN and said some stuff. We're going to play that momentarily. But there are other things involved. We also have a few other takes that we're going to mix in this thing. Is this a serious situation that Teofimo is serious about? It's just something that he's drumming up attention for his next potential fight. Guys announcing retirements during their career and the guy's just 25 years of age. So he mentioned a few other things, but there are also conflicting commentary and statements being made by Teofimo Lopez. But let's get into it. This is what he had to say via Max on Boxing. Here we go.
Teofimo Lopez did exactly what he done the first time around. Score a spectacular win over a dominant champion. Southpaw at that. Teofimo dominated the undefeated, really undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world, Josh Taylor, on Saturday night in New York City. And I welcome in the man himself, the junior welterweight champion of the world. And folks, a lot of belts you hear about. He won this belt, this division. He is the legit lightweight and now junior welterweight champion of the world. Not that many fighters in history have done that, Teofimo Lopez. Congratulations, champ.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And I want to get right to it. You have an announcement to make?
Yes, I'm going to be announcing my retirement to the sport of boxing. Blood, sweat, and tears I've done for the sport at a young age, at 25 years young. I believe, and the first male really to become a two-time undisputed world champion. Very grateful for it.
In the four-belt era.
In the four-belt era, yes.
Teofimo, no one's going to believe you. Even if they do believe that you believe it, they're going to say, hold on a second. The one man who beat him, Teofimo, had a life-threatening condition, defended his title against George Kambosos. He could have died because he couldn't breathe at a certain point, right? And got off the deck to score a late rounds knockdown, but lost the decision. That's how he lost his lightweight title.
All right, so let's cover that right quick. Let's stop right there because George Kambosos came out and literally took Max Kellerman apart about the commentary about him being sick. We knew that Teofimo Lopez, leading up to the George Kambosos match, was having all these different ailments and he was claiming to be sick. What's really interesting is you can't take nothing away from Teofimo Lopez in terms of what he did, in terms of beating Lomachenko and then beating Taylor. You got to give him his credit on that. But he can get him, but it's difficult for him to keep him. And remember what happened to him after the Lomachenko matchup when George Kambosos just took him from him and they were claiming all this kind of stuff about what was going on with him. Eventually, it was drawn out to the point where he was forced to go back into boxing, or just what he could have simply did was, if he was in that bad of straits, he could have just kind of waited until he was healthy and they would have secured him an opportunity to come back and defend at another time if he wasn't ready to go. But he went in there sick. If he went in there sick or injured, that's on him. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't take that away from George Kambosos, what he did, taking the belts away from him. And then, Teofimo was able to beat Josh Taylor. Hey, I had Taylor beating him, but he went in there. He fought a really good fight against Taylor, and he took the belts. Let's keep it going here.
He's still out there. You haven't fought him. A title defense against Kambosos. Devin Haney, who then beat Kambosos for your old title, wants to move up to 140. He's undefeated. Yeah. You're not going to fight either one of those guys?
Right now, I'm just really thinking about, I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things in mind for the sport of boxing. I really can't do that if I'm always in the gym training and preparing for another upcoming fight or bout. So I'm really just focusing right now on that task right now.
So this is not Max on Boxing. We have very little time to talk fights.
Yes. What's interesting is, you have all the belts. You come in and you got the belts from Josh Taylor. Each one of those belts come with a mandatory that you got to defend against. He mentions family issues, fine. But there's another veneer to this, and I'm play this because this is not something that's rare in the sport of boxing. Like some of these fighters announcing retirement and then they make claims about family and kind of doing it, which is fine. But then other things are said to kind of say, hold on, I thought you said it was about the family. But anyway, let's finish up.
want to get to the fight. You came in as an underdog. Early on, Josh Taylor's he's bigger, much bigger guy than you, and he's doing well early. And in the fourth round, you're maybe down 2 rounds to 1, and you kind of football move him, check him to the canvas, and he gets up, but his forward momentum is broken. You dominated the rest of the fight. You gave him the 10th round. You took off. Otherwise, you dominated the rest of the fight. Tell me about it.
Oh no, yeah. This whole thing was really just it's a mind playing game when you come to boxing, man. Especially at that high calibrated type of fight. And facing him was really just that momentum. I focused a lot in my legs, especially moving up in the weight division at 140. He's the bigger guy. He beat everybody at the 140 division, former undisputed world champion, and obviously I knew what I had. I had my hands full that night.
I want to get to this before we get out of here, Teo. You have always looked your best.
Yes.
When the light shines brightest. On Heisman Trophy night, you're scoring highlight reel knockouts. Your first title shot against Comey, you starch him in 2 rounds. Lomachenko, you upset. Josh Taylor, you upset the odds. But you've looked ordinary when the lights aren't brightest. What is it about you that rises to the occasion to the extent that you do?
It's motivation. It's just like today, Monday. Monday motivation. I really look at it as a part of I need challenges, and if they're not big enough, I think they don't get me going. So it's all about against all odds. That's really what I believe on, and I have a lot of faith in that.
And when I say ordinary, by the way, folks, he's still beating world-class fighters. He's just not dominating the top level the way you do.
Yeah.
It was fights. A couple of fights recently prior to the Taylor fight that he didn't look, as good. And you can tell the difference when Teofimo Lopez turns it on. Like the Lomachenko fight, he really turned it on for that fight. He turned it on for the Josh Taylor fight. He was a massive underdog in that fight. A lot of people, because Teofimo wears on you. Like when he took Lomachenko's belt, it was this whole little thing about who they were going to fight. Remember the whole rigmarole about fighting this guy, fighting that, his goddamn dad getting all in the way. So it was a lot of garbage, after he won the belts from Lomachenko. He was saying that, couldn't negotiate the fights, saying that they were going to fight this guy, backing out of the fight with this guy, saying they were going to fight. I mean, just absolute garbage and trash how they handled the whole goddamn situation. It soured me big time on the on the Teofimo brand. But you can't take away the fact that he did beat Lomachenko and he beat Josh Taylor. But can he defend the goddamn belts? Well, instead, we'll never know. We'll never know according to what he's telling us right now. But anyway, let's move on to the next point. Let's get on to the next one right here, because we talk about in boxing things, about family and all this kind of stuff. And if it's really about a family, then why is Teofimo Lopez wanting $100 million to return to boxing if it's about family, bro? It's kind of strange, that angle. So anyway, let's hear what he had to say in terms. He was on the Porter Way broadcast. Shout out to Sean Porter, doing great things over there at the Porter Way podcast. Let's hear what Teofimo had to say about his retirement.
It's inspiration to others. So, really with myself, it's like, all right, where do I take this from this point on? Reason why I'm thinking of retirement is because, my family has been very concerned with the way I've been expressing things. Whether it's the Black Fighters comment, whether it was certain other comments. I'm not racist. I just see it from a business aspect of things. And I think it kind of rubbed people differently because they're not understanding my expression of words, how I say things, I suppose. But, so I kind of don't want that pressure on them being like they got to be fearful of their life because someone's going to do something to me. No one's going to do anything to me, They got to talk to the Father first before any of that. But when it comes to it, it's like, okay, you know what? I need everybody to calm down. Let me figure out something else. I am a very smart, intelligent individual, not just as a fighter, and I really want to express that outside of it now. I have a lot of great ideas that I really want to express out there and make it into reality. I really want to open a gym, a 2-story gym that's going to have MMA and boxing. And combine the combat sports and have it open in South Florida, and then on top of that, like I said before, be a trainer, train fighters. My father will be training other fighters. We recruit fighters, teach them how to talk on the mic, educate them how to be financially stable as well, and show them that they could do it too. It's just all about, you don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to do certain things like that to get your riches. You just got to have faith in God, man.
When you say retire, we did not see the last Teo. Man, you can't.
I think the only way you get Teofimo back is a 9-figure contract deal.
Okay. Money got to be right.
Because I've made ESPN over $100 million, and I'm still getting paid $1 million a fight, while all these other fighters that have not even done a quarter of what I've done and I've accomplished in the sport, they're getting 8, 10, 12, $15 million. So obviously I'm the black sheep of the industry, and they're really hurting me on that end. So I really want to fix the sport of the boxing world and the corruption that's going on. Obviously it doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we need to help these young kids that are out there right now, and parents and families that are, this, Sean. I mean, when we were in the amateurs, our parents had to sacrifice part of their partial rent or whatever so that they can have enough for us to travel.
When you turn pro, you expect it to get easier, and it actually gets harder.
Well, it shouldn't. You know what it is though? It's the fact that they want us in a slave kind of situation where it's control, and it's like we are the bosses. We the ones that people want to come and see fight, and I know that no one's gonna want to come. I know that if I keep fighting, they're just gonna keep giving me pennies when I'm worth more than that. I'm worth 8, 9 figures.
Yeah.
And I've been knew that. And it's like, enough is enough. I'm not coming back. You want me?
I was gonna say, I mean, let's keep it real. And we'll let you go on this note, but it's no secret how rough the boxing game is, and there's no secret how unfair the business side of the game is to fighters. So from that standpoint, I know right now people don't truly understand what you've been through and what you're going through and what you're trying to say. I 100% too. And you and I, we definitely need to have a couple of offline conversations, big dog.
All right, that's some of the bulk of the conversation dealing with Teofimo Lopez on the Porterway podcast. How do you guys feel about that? We do recognize that, we knew for a long time that even in early back in the days, man, the mob ran the boxing game. That's why a lot of fights were situated out of casinos and places like this. We know what time it is. But nowadays, you have to think that with all the information that's floating around and the ability, nothing wrong with Teofimo Lopez saying, hey, you got to pay me more. So you get the belts and then you retire. Is that a way to say, okay, we're going to pay Teofimo this amount of money? Right now, it doesn't make any sense from a business standpoint for you to talk about wanting more money, but yet you're going to retire. I just don't know, man. I just think this is some type of ploy of some sort, knowing Teofimo Lopez. I remember some of the antics he pulled after he won the belts from Lomachenko, and I'm like, I'm not really totally believing. I'm not really buying this. I think this is more of a technique to try to get money out of the people, and if you feel like he deserves that, you don't give up your leverage with which are the belts saying that you're going to retire out of the sport. And then another guy kind of, is leading into that. Paulie is another guy that talks about this too. Let's hear what he had to say about Teofimo Lopez and his ploy.
When I was a world championship, yes, he announced his retirement, but I think that's one of the things fighters do nowadays. They just announce retirements and they keep fighting. I know Tyson Fury did that. Mayweather started that kind of tradition. And I think in the UFC, we also had the same weekend, Amanda Nunes just retired on Saturday as well. I also don't believe her retirement is, in a little bit offhanded non-boxing related news, since there was another retirement announced on Saturday. I don't think either of these people are retiring. I think we're going to see them fight. I think Teofimo Lopez is going to insert himself into the major names at 140 pounds as well as he should be. And I think he'll be a guy that people will continue to want to watch, and people will mention him among the big names. And I tell you what, man, he's not going to be easy to deal with. He said he's leaving ESPN after this fight, which means he would be leaving Top Rank. I wonder if that will be the case right now. He's got to, decide that he's going to announce that he's going to continue fighting. Because I'll tell you what, once they tell him they'll strip him of his world title if he retires, I think he'll unannounce it. He'll unretire, and then he'll start to, he'll start to probably seek new deals and whatnot if indeed his contract is over with ESPN and Top Rank, which I don't know. But based on the way he was talking, I think this might have been his last fight on the contract. Don't know, but I'm curious to know.
All right, that's Paulie M, man. And I agree with Paulie on that. I think that this is definitely a ploy. It makes no sense for Teofimo Lopez to retire and allow his belts to be stripped away if he's looking for bigger fights. Makes no sense to me. Makes absolutely zero sense to me. And then the fact that it happens directly after the fight when he was announcing all of this kind of stuff to kind of create more of a buzz around this name. So, and he mentioned it, he alluded to it in the Porter Way podcast that I'm a very intelligent dude. I know this, that, and the third and all this kind of stuff. I know what I'm worth. So you, as an intelligent cat, you think you're going to give up your leverage, which are the belts that you just beat Taylor for in an attempt to make more money? That didn't make any sense. So like Paulie M said, is that as soon as they get ready to strip his ass of those titles, he's gonna say, okay, he's gonna unretire real quick. So this is a ploy, and I agree. And this is used a lot to kind of pick up steam around him. And I'm not buying it, Tio. I'm not really buying it. You definitely feel like you're worth the money. If it's all about the family and open up gyms, you could do that shit right now. You don't have to retire to do that. But if you want to retire, nobody's holding your hand. Nobody's forcing you to stay in the sport of boxing, which you made millions of dollars and have a pretty extravagant lifestyle, a pretty good, wealthy lifestyle off of boxing that you earn now. If you feel like you deserve more wages, that's fine. I agree with you. As a guy, of your boxing resume, you definitely deserve to make more than $1 million per fight. If that is indeed the case, you don't retire. What you do is you get out of your current deal and then you find another deal that suits your financial interests. As simple as that. You don't retire and give up the belts that you fought for because you devalue yourself insofar as having the titles as a unified champion. So anyway, undisputed. So with that being said, man, let's hear from you guys. Y'all put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid on the Teofimo retirement announcement? He went on ESPN and announced it. He was hinting at it after the fight. But are you guys buying it? Do you really believe that this is him making this exit out of the boxing game, or it's just merely a ploy to get more money in the boxing game on future deals? Y'all guys put it in the comment section. Let me know below. With that being said, that'll be this end of the episode for Ring Kings Boxing. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed and let them know Ring Kings Boxing. We up in this thing. I'm Big Q. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one.